Hello, students of America. My name is Neil, and I'm Caroline's cousin, and I'm currently in Sydney, Australia. I've been lucky enough to have a month's holiday in Australia and New Zealand, and from Sydney, I'm going to be answering some questions about Australia, the country of Caroline's project. So I'll be answering a few questions that she has asked me, and I hope that this will add to her project and her grade as well, teacher. Taking note there. Okay, first question. What special foods is Australia known for? Well, Australia has many immigrants from many different countries, such as Southeast Asia, Africa as well as Britain and Europe, being a former Commonwealth country. It was a colony of the British for many, many years. So with that in mind, many different kinds of food are popular in Australia, such as Asian foods and curries and things like that. We eat a lot of meat and vegetables here as well, because we grow a lot of animals on the land with the pastures that we have here. So steaks are very popular and things like that. However, I will tell you of one homegrown product that is very popular here that people eat a lot. It's called Vegemite. And that probably looks backwards there. But Vegemite is a yeast-based spread that people put on their toast in the mornings with a bit of butter. Now, I don't like it very much at all, but people love it here. It tastes very like salty because there's lots of salt in there, but is very healthy because it has lots of B vitamins. So it's called Vegemite. I think it's available in America, but it's not very popular. It's quite a unique taste, but keep an eye out for it. Another thing that Australia is famous for is wine. There's an example of a bottle we got recently the other day. Being a New World country, Australia is just over 200 years old in terms of its settlement by Europeans. The wines are quite a different flavour from France and Europe and some of the older world countries, so Australian wines are very popular, but probably something that you'll be interested in a good few years, so keep away from that right now. Next question. How long does the school year last? Well, the school year, this is very simple. It follows the calendar year. That is, school starts in either January or February, depending on where you live in the country, and that goes all the way through to December. So it just follows like the calendar. Unlike you guys, where you start in around August and September, depending on the school that you're going to. So it's very simple, it follows the calendar, which means that people are on summer holidays at Christmas time, which is probably very, very different from what you guys are used to. It's very hot here, but I'll let Caroline talk about that. Houses in rural and other areas, the size and difference compared to wealthy and poor. Well, houses, just like in America, vary in cities and in the countryside and on farms and things like that. In the cities, there are a great number of options. People live in apartments, or what they call here are flats, to big houses, to little houses, depending on how much space and how close they are to the city. So really, I would say that Australian houses are very similar to American houses. We have lots of space here, and people can have the size house that they want depending on what kind of space is available. Next question, what is the currency called and looks like? Well, just like in America, we have dollars here as well. I'm going to show you some examples. So we have the same dollar sign, which is the S and two lines through, or one line. The only difference is with Australian money is recently, in the last 10 to 15 years, we have plastic money. So if you have been out shopping and you've put some change in your jeans and then you wash them and you forget about it, it won't be disintegrated. Here's an example. This is a $50 note. It's yellow. Okay, it's plastic. I can't tear this. I can tear it, but you know, you can sort of staple it back together if you wanted to. And what's really cool is there's a little window here. Okay, this is like the watermark or conventional paper money. So that's a 50. This is a 20. It's red, and just like in America, it has famous people printed on the sides. Now, I haven't lived in Australia for a long time, so I forget which names they are, but that might be something you like to research, or Caroline can tell you if she does the research. So that's a 20, and lastly a 10. We have a 100 as well, but I don't have one right now. That's a blue one. That's $10. Okay, so plastic money in Australia. Okay, the flag and map, Caroline will have pictures of, and I'll let her tell you about that, but no doubt she'll tell you that there's the Union Jack in one corner, which was because Australia is a former British colony. Lots of British countries had the Union Jack on it. And the Southern Cross, which is a star constellation that can only be seen from the Southern Hemisphere, but I'll let Caroline tell you about that. Last question, important cities and anything about life in Australia. Well, we're in Sydney right now, which is the largest city in Australia. It's about 5.5 million people. Most indeed of major Australian cities are on the water, which is very nice. And most people live on the eastern seaboard, or the east coast, because that's where a lot of the industry and job opportunities are. So most people live in cities. In fact, Australia has the highest amount of urbanisation, which means people living in cities in the entire world. Most of Australia is desert, and it's very dry, and the land is not good for people to live on or to use. Australia is generally a very open and laid-back country. It's very young, as I said. It's just over 200 years old in terms of white people being colonising the nation. For many, many thousands of years, Aborigines, the natives, have been living here. So it wasn't discovered in 1788. It was more colonised. So it's a very young nation, and I think continuing to look forward. I'll give you a little fact. I hope Caroline hasn't researched this, but my final point will be the Australian national anthem, like our national song, is called Advance Australia Fair, which means to sort of go forward and to promote the country and to work hard. And we have a coat of arms, or a crest, which is like a seal that the government use as a representation of Australia. And the two animals on there, that I'm sure Caroline will mention, are an emu and a kangaroo, which are unique animals. One's cute, one's kind of ugly, it's a kind of bird. But the reason why those two animals were chosen to be on the coat of arms and to tie in with the national anthem of Advance Australia Fair going forward is because they're the only two animals that cannot walk backwards. They are unable to walk backwards, they can only go forward. So I think it's a nice little tie-in with the whole idea of the country going forward and looking to new horizons. So I hope that's been interesting. Again, my name is Neil. Okay, I'm in Sydney right now. It's at night. Take a look behind me. This little guy is a koala. Not a koala bear. They're not a bear. They're marsupials, which is a different species of Australian animal. And he's sitting in a tree. We don't have trees inside all the time, but I thought I'd just dandy up the background for you. It's a very green nation, and I thought that would tie in well. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope this has helped, and I hope it improves Caroline's grade and you've learned something. Okay, bye from Australia. Bye.